Good morning, April 3rd, 2025. And if we are recording this, that means that we survived Liberation Day, Rodney.
Yeah.
We survived. You're alive.
Yeah. I am so tired of winning right now. Are you just tired of winning?
Oh, dude.
We're going to win so much. I'm just tired.
We're so rich. We're going to be so sick of being rich. I mean, I've never been this rich in my life.
Yeah.
We're so rich. Thank God for Liberation Day. No, but we will be giving our thoughts on Liberation Day. We will be giving our thoughts on the tariffs. Take a look at the crypto markets, the stock markets, Bitcoin, XRP, all of that good stuff. If you are joining us live here on day one, we're going to call this day one after Liberation Day, which Trump said is going to go down as the greatest day in American history.
Well, I sure fucking hope so.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the point is to bring back jobs to America, to make us, you know, at least equal to, you know, what we're, you know, giving and taking from trading and those sorts of things. But obviously it's affecting the economy in a negative way right now. But we said it's going to get worse before it's going to get better.
Short-term pain, long-term gain. I had my older brother text me today. He's like, your
boy.
Yeah, take ice bath. It actually does help with the stress, trust me. But my older brother texted me this morning saying, your boy's crushing my 401k. And I was like, short term, I was like, I'd be willing to bet that long term, your 401k goes up.
Yeah.
But also on that note, your 401k and even crypto is higher than when Donald Trump won the presidency back in November, right?
Yeah.
Your 401k is pretty much at the same levels. Crypto's still up from when Donald Trump won back in November 5th. So interesting stuff, though, because we talked about some certain levels that we didn't want to see stocks or cryptocurrencies reach, and they have all reached below those levels. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. But let's just give everybody a quick glance at the markets. I'm going to share my screen for everybody here. Good morning, everybody. Welcome into the chat. Say GM in the chat, guys, if you are joining us this morning. So let's just take a look at Bitcoin. I want to actually zoom in on Bitcoin from what happened yesterday. So crypto getting absolutely
fucking wrecked. Yeah.
The worst part is I don't know if this even gets better in the short term, but
yeah, I don't know.
Let's take a look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin had a pretty volatile day yesterday, right?
Yeah.
We started the day at $83,000. We pumped all the way up to $87,000. Probably a lot of people got liquidated, which is why I stay away from leverage trading. And then we fell off a cliff down to 82, and now we're trading at $81,000 Bitcoin today. On the day, we're down about 5% on the day. So we had an $87,000 Bitcoin after that announcement. This came like right after he made the announcements. And then we fell sharply off. Holy shit, ETH, $17.50 per Ethereum token. Keep in mind, the bottom of 2022, when FTX went under, was $900. And we're at $17.50 for ETH, which is wild. XRP has fallen below $1.97. That key number that we talked about in the stream was $1.89. Some of the technical analysis people that I watch on YouTube and trust, they said that the level of support that they're looking to not break is $1.89. So hopefully XRP holds up. BNB is at $5.79. Solana getting slaughtered.
Absolutely wrecked.
$113 per SOL. Dogecoin was at $29 billion market cap earlier this week. It's now at $23 billion. $6 billion has been pulled out of Dogecoin. Tron, not really too affected. Only down 1%.
It's already had its little dump
on the day. Look at this. Everything's down 10, 12, 4. Tron's at 1%. Cardano is getting affected. Down to 61 cents per Cardano. Down over almost 11% on the day, which is wild. How about Toncoin? We had a $4 plus Toncoin. Now we're at $3.55. Chainlink down to $12.33. Stellar Lumens is at 25 cents. Avalanche was up $20 yesterday at $17. SWE was up over $2.50 yesterday, down 10% of the day at $2.33. Shiba Inu at a $7 billion market cap. And let's just finish up with Pepe. I would imagine Pepe is below a $3 billion market cap.
I would say so,
But I don't think it's moving as bad with the markets. I guess 2.8 is my guess.
Where is it at? We're
2.7. Wow.
2.7. Oh, yeah. So,
down 24% of the week, down 14% of the day.
Meme coins.
Hopefully, this might be the time, right? Because we said when Pepe went down to 2.2, this is when you load up. It might be time to load up on Pepe, but our ETH is also fucking getting crushed as well.
Yeah, we'll have to see exactly like how this, because it could just be an overreaction to what the news yesterday. But we're gonna see, right? I think the next couple of weeks are gonna be very telling for the markets in general, and to see if this is really a negotiating tactic. Because I think that we have two different situations. One, we put tariffs in because we genuinely think they're good. I remember the reason why we actually created income tax in the first place was because of getting rid of tariffs back then, because we needed a way to make revenue, right? So we started taxing our own people, and that's why Trump wants to do tax cuts. Or this is a play that Trump is like, you know what, we're gonna fucking put tariffs here, for a negotiating tactic, and people are going to fold, and the people don't fold.
They will fold. They will fold. Yeah. Because here's the tariffs that we're putting in place on these countries. Go ahead and pull this up. The reciprocal tariffs. And he mentioned that we're going to have reciprocal tariffs. For me, reciprocal tariffs means 1-to-1, right? If you tax me 50%, I'm going to tax you 50%. We pretty much came in at discounted reciprocal tariffs, which means there's actually some wiggle room if he does want to add more. But you can see China's tariffs to the US are 67%, and our tariffs to China are now 34%. The EU smacks us with 40%. When you could probably speak to this better, but don't we provide a lot of military support for the EU? A lot?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, we're
so
everywhere.
Why are they like, so when I think about things like that, I'm like, I don't really mind these tariffs. I get it. When you zoom out and you say, hey, our crypto bags are getting slaughtered, it's shaking up the global economy. I understand why people don't like it. But at the end of the day, it's like, dude, we provide so much military assistance. We give so much money to these countries, and they're absolutely smacking us with these tariffs. Let's keep going. Taiwan. First off, Vietnam, 90% tariffs. What are they thinking over there?
I don't know.
90% tariffs.
Yeah.
Ours are now 46%.
I've been listening to a lot of information that said this formula doesn't make sense, that these are not really reciprocal tariffs. I'm going to learn more about it today. There's some people that I trust and follow who are not biased, who are like, this to make no fucking sense.
It's all of these Southeast Asia countries, right? Thailand, 72%. Taiwan, 64%. South Korea, 50%. Look at Cambodia. Cambodia is hitting us with a 97% tariff on goods being exported into the United States. But this is what I consider fair. Chile, 10%, 10%. Australia, 10%, 10%.
Yeah.
Singapore, 10%, 10%. But one thing to note, Rodney, that's actually pretty interesting with these tariffs is the fact that Canada and Mexico were not on the list of reciprocal tariffs, our closest allies. So maybe some negotiations that are already taking place behind the scenes, but they were not on this list of countries that are giving us tariffs or that are getting the reciprocal tariffs.
Yeah. You know, this is a good, we're going to read a couple things here. I thought this is pretty good. And this is a good example right here. So if you want to share my screen, it says, to illustrate how nonsensical these tariffs were calculated, take the example of Lesotho. Lesotho, one of the poorest countries in Africa with just $2.4 billion in annual GDP, which is being struck with a 50% tariff rate under the Trump plan, the highest rate among all countries on the list. Why? Does Lesotho apply extortionate tariffs on U.S. products and the U.S. is merely being reciprocal here? Not at all. Despite what Trump is saying, it's not the way these tariffs were defined. Are defined. But this cigar, he's on breaking points, and he's like usually the pro-Trump guy. And he said this, and it makes sense. This is a good explanation of why I think the White House formula across the board makes absolutely no sense applied to every country. At best, you can make the case for the formula on China as the easiest way to approximate a trade imbalance tax. Even then, to say it is a reciprocal tariff is not accurate, even if you accept currency manipulation, no trade barriers, etc. Also, if we're going to do this overnight, we will need an absolutely massive capital injection tax plan to offset the inevitable contraction. I have not seen the plan from the White House or any appetite within the GOP Congress. If anything, they want to get rid of the menu manufacturing tax credits. As someone who's actually extremely pro-tariff, I think this will poison the well too much for the public. I guess the bull case is that it's just all a negotiating tactic and none of this is real. But the current regime is high enough that even while it's in place for a short period, it will cause serious disruption for a lot of American lives. So I'm going to dig into it more.
Go back to Arnard. I want to see what he's saying about Lesotho. Like, why? So
he's just saying that it's not reciprocal tariffs.
Let's see. So Lesotho applies the common external tariff structure established by this regional trade bloc, which means it applies the same tariffs on U.S. products as South Africa does, as well as the three other members of the bloc, Namibia, Eswatini, and Botswana. So since the tariffs charged by these five countries on U.S. products are exactly the same, they must be struck with a 50% tariff rate by the U.S., right? No, not at all. South Africa is getting 30%, Namibia 21%, Botswana 37%, and Botswana 10%. So what gives, again, the way these tariffs are calculated has absolutely zero relationship with actual tariffs imposed by these countries on U.S. products. Instead, they appear to simply derive from trade deficit calculations. Okay. Looking at Lesotho specifically, every year the U.S. imports approximately $236 million in goods from Lesotho, primarily diamonds, textiles, and apparel, while exporting only about $7 million worth of goods to Lesotho. So why do they export so little? Again, this is an extremely poor country where 56.2% of the population lives with less than $3 per day. $1,300 a year. They simply can't afford any U.S. products. The way that tariffs are actually calculated appears to be based on a simplistic and economically senseless formula. You take the trade deficit the U.S. has with a country, divided by the country's exports to the U.S., and declare this falsely the tariff they charge on the U.S. So Okay, so I guess a lot of these tariffs, though. So what he's saying is like, hey, people in Lesotho can't afford to buy American goods.
So there's no
because they're so expensive.
So I guess there's just a trade deficit. So what he's doing is like, it's not a reciprocal tariff. He's just saying anybody we're in a trade deficit with, we're gonna just tax them. So hopefully it fucking works out. Okay, here we're just guys on the internet, right? But we're reading the news every day, and I'm gonna be fair. Fair is fair. I'm listening to people that are neutral, that I've watched for a long time, that'll give Trump his flowers when he deserves them, but also say, hey, I think this is a little weird, and I think that's important. So
Tony Montana. What's up, Tony Montana?
Yeah.
Tony Montana back in the chat. What's up? He said, when they get scared, I buy more. I'm not buying anything right now. I gotta wait to see how the dust settles a little bit here for the crypto space. But definitely some unprecedented times.
Yeah.
I mean, he did tariffs back in 2017. Why weren't we?
They weren't massive like this.
Yeah. Why weren't we having a field day like this?
Yeah.
But once again, I have look. I voted for the man, and when you vote for the man, you vote for his policies and ideologies, and we know that tariffs were part of the plan. So all you can do now is sit back and hope they work out. That's what I told her. He was like talking about it. I'm like, hey, all we can do is pray that they work out. Unless you want to run for office, which I might, then you can't really do much about it.
It's okay to rage against the machine sometimes.
But I think that a lot of this is negotiation. Like right now, if I'm fucking, let me just pick a random country, pull it up. If I am Burma, right? Burma, can you pull up my screen? Myanmar, Burma, and I'm about to get smacked with a 44% tariff from the US, I'm probably going to drop my tariffs a little bit on the US, right?
Yeah.
So I would imagine a lot of these tariffs do come down. The US gets better deals, and will probably estimate in the tune of trillions of dollars being made or saved by the US.
I hope so. We'll see. Hey, we will see.
Good for our bags? Absolutely not. Good for America? I think so. In the long run, I think so.
We'll see.
I think so.
We'll see. All right. Obviously, this is the big news today. Over $1.65 trillion wiped out of the U.S. stock market at open. Obviously, a lot of things in the red.
220 and dropping.
I know, right?
Tim Walz is fucking having a rocket today.
Yeah, eat a dick, Tim. Justin, $300 million liquidated from the cryptocurrency market in the past 4 hours. This is a few hours ago. So
I'm trying to have a good day.
I know. Yeah, we got to talk about that.
No,
I thought that was pretty interesting. And this is interesting. So, U.S. Senate votes to terminate President Trump's tariffs on Canada. So that was interesting. So
yeah, we like Canada, and he didn't even put any tariffs on Canada.
I don't think so. Yeah,
they weren't mentioned. It's because Canada came out yesterday and said, "Hey, we're willing to cut all tariffs on the U.S. to make it fair." Mexico as well. So at the end of the day, it is what it is, guys. Like I said, it's like everyone wants to go on X and complain and tell you how bad it is now. But once again, this is just my viewpoint. And I don't even know if it's Rodney's. I don't know if it's Coach's. But I voted for him. That means that you vote for his policies. You trusted him when you voted for him. And now he's rolling out his policies. And we knew that he's going to do extreme shit, right? That's what Donald Trump's going to do. Yeah. So all we can do, unless you want to run for office today, all you can do is hope that they work out.
I think that's kind of a retarded way to think. Because you could be a normal person and disagree.
You can disagree
based on new evidence.
Yeah, you can disagree.
But are these really reciprocal tariffs? Or are you just making up some fucking formula?
No, they're half. They're less than. They're half then. You can disagree, but it's like all these people that have their panties in a bunch. It's like, well, then go do something. Go run for office.
Yeah.
Go get into a position where you can either put tariffs in or not.
What
put tariffs
if doctors and professionals? They're like, hey, I don't like this affecting my life, motherfucker.
I get it.
It's going to be upset.
Yeah, I get it.
If it's retardedly upset, then no.
But also, it's easy to be upset short term. Like, what happens when these start working out, stocks start pumping, and crypto starts pumping, and America starts getting paid and getting better deals? You're gonna be like, oh, I knew it. Yeah, I knew it all along. It's like, have some faith, have some conviction.
I think that the information, is just contradicting what he's saying. Like, a lot of these aren't reciprocal tariffs.
Well, we also know that Donald Trump isn't the one that's doing these, right? Like, he has a team around him, just like Donald Trump says.
Of course.
Never sell your Bitcoin.
But it's his idea, though. Like,
what does that mean?
People's ideas when they run.
Tariffs worked in the past.
Put them in the plan.
Let's see if they work again.
Yeah, like the 1800s, right?
I'm just I'm an optimistic guy.
Yeah, me too. But I'm cautious. I don't want to blindly follow someone. Just, it's okay to trust but verify. You know what I mean?
Just think about 2017, though. It was the greatest that the economy ever was. It was the greatest that our country ever was. From 2016 to before COVID.
That is true.
The best that it ever was. And I think he actually learned from his first term and is going to do it again.
Yeah. We'll see. A lot of people say, oh, Trump's a failed businessman and stuff. It's like, no, he's not. Like, he failed at some things, and some things were obviously scammy, like Trump University and shit like that. But he was never like dirt poor. You know what I mean? He figured it out. So
let's check out the markets one more time before we get into the news. 81,802. I think we had like an 87K Bitcoin yesterday. $1,700 ETH. Let's talk about Ethereum real quick, Rodney.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a little clip, but
that's rough.
So in 2021, Ethereum ran all the way up to $4,900 at its low.
Crazy, yeah.
The bottom in 2022, the worst bear market in history, ETH dropped down to $900.
Yeah.
As of today, in the middle of a bull run,
ETH
is at $1,700. Do you think that we see Ethereum all-time highs in 2025?
I'm going to say I don't know, and here's a few reasons why. One, I think that there was not a lot of competition for Ethereum back in 2021, but then I'm also focusing on just meme coins and just tokens in general and NFTs and those sorts of things. And we have an article about NFTs here we'll talk about, but I do think that there's just so much competition now. It's taking some of that market share from Ethereum, maybe even Base too,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think that I'm hopeful, but I don't know. If ETH gets back to $4,000, I'm going to be very, very happy. But at 1770, ETH is on life support. We need someone to do something immediately.
Vitalik, help us. I don't know. Talk about getting listed on exchanges.
Clip it. Sky's falling. Clip it. Sky's falling. ETH's falling. But dude, 1,700 for an ETH is wild.
Yeah. If you would have told me back in 2021 that Ethereum next bull, if you told me that Bitcoin's gonna be 110K, I'd be like, oh, Ethereum's 10K at least.
10K.
Yeah.
I literally, so I kind of like didn't time the bull run perfectly last cycle. I sold most of my ETH and I cashed out at 3K on the way down.
That's not bad.
And I was like, fuck, but I missed 5K, right? So I sold at 3K.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, wow, 3K was a fucking
deal. Yeah.
I can't believe I sold at 3K. $1,700 ETH. I don't think it's done yet. I just think that we need to see like this tariff stuff kind of shake out. But stocks and crypto markets and investors, in my opinion, are overreacting a little bit.
Yeah. I think so a little bit. I just want to make sure that what we're saying is actually true. That's, I'm going to be cautious, but I'm going to see what's up. I'm going to learn more about it. I'm going to spend some time on the internet, learn more about what the fuck is going on. Listen to some people that I trust who are not biased either way, who maybe lean away, but like they'll say stuff when they think it's,
Yep. Let's take a look at the traditional stock market as well, getting slaughtered. So on the day, we have the Dow Jones down $1,500, down 3.65% of the day, which, as you guys know, the Dow Jones makes up a much larger portion of the market. I think the market cap's like 19.5 trillion.
Yeah.
So about 10 Bitcoins. So to be down 3.65% of the day is not good. And you can see here, before Trump took office, what was it, November? So on November 5th, it was right around 40, right? Before Trump won, 41K. Now we're at 40K. So we're pretty much at the same levels that we were at before he actually won the election. And then before he was inaugurated, we saw a massive pump, and it was right around $45,000. And then the Russell 2000, guys, that was one of the indexes that we've talked about quite a bit, that we didn't want to see it drop below 1950. We're at 1914. So it'll be interesting. The Russell 2000 is down 7% on the day.
Hello,
$152. We were trading over $2,000 pretty much all week. And now we see the Russell 2000 down 152. This is one of the, the crypto really does move with the Russell 2000. Yeah. And, we saw 2,500, pretty much near 2,500. So down 12% in the past 6 months. Not looking good. And this is coming from a guy that's like, not me. I watch a lot of blockchain backer, and those were the key indicators that he said. So it'll be interesting to see what he says. But he said if XRP drops below $1.89, he'll be taking out a lot of his profits. And if the Russell 2000 drops below 1950, it should get pretty interesting for the crypto space.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. A little more tariff news. So Trump's new 34% tariffs on China stacks on the existing 20%, bringing the total to 54%. Say goodbye to dollar stores, baby. All the little made from China dollar stores wrecked. And I thought this was interesting. So Xi Jinping.
Wow. I didn't know they were like stacked on top.
Yeah. He says China warns U.S. tariffs threaten global economics. I think he meant instability, but stability here. And of course, China says they're going to take countermeasures against U.S. tariffs.
Theirs are already high on us.
We're beefing, right? So Israel removed all tariffs on U.S. goods yesterday. They were hit with 70% reciprocal tariff. White House officials, Israel has a long promise to lower its tariffs, and we've waited nearly 50 years for it to happen. So Israel,
Jesus, dude, that's like one of our best allies. But I think that the reciprocal tariffs came out after they made their announcement. Like I think the charts were made before, so I think that they'll have zero. Good morning, Burke. How you doing, brother? But yeah, wild day, guys. I mean, we're still learning everything as you are as we go along with it. Yeah. And all I can say is I'm not selling, and I'm not buying here.
Yeah.
Like I'm waiting to see.
I will wait this. Yeah. See what's up with the week. A little more.
And check the stocks too, right? If the top 7 continue to crash. Historically, when the top 7 reaches the top, people then rotate into other assets like crypto, altcoins. That's usually when we see a run.
Yeah.
I'm still hopeful, but I'm definitely less bullish than I was in the past week or 2 weeks, right? It's so funny, though. Donald Trump came into office. He won on November 5th, and he said, crypto, we're going to make you guys richer. We're going to make the price higher than ever before. And ever since he's taken office, Rodney, it's been the exact opposite.
Yeah. Yeah. You mean for Trump? Yeah. I mean, we had that massive pump before he got in office. But yeah, I mean, But then I think when the Trump the tariff situation started to heat up, because at first we didn't really know. We thought it was a negotiating tactic. No tariffs are going to be put in place. He said, "Try me, motherfucker."
Yeah,
he said, "Try me."
Yeah. So we've been.
Imagine this is like the greatest time in American history right now. Like this is the greatest move we ever done. Because if you think about it, like if you think about like AI and stuff like that, like there's going to be a point where there's going to be a lot of jobs. I was watching some show this morning to make a good point, and he said AI and stuff like that. Like, first of all, we have to get all that technology here. But you think about like manufacturing jobs. There's a lot of jobs that robots and computers can do. It's going to lay a lot of people off work and stuff like that, and maybe have no jobs for them. But there's actually a lot of jobs that a robot can't do, like plumbing and cutting down trees and shit like that. Like those are going to be like doctor type jobs in the future. I think as like technology gets bigger,
everything. Stacking grocery shelves. Checking people out.
But I mean, like plumbing, like you can't have a robot do that. You know what I mean? Like not in the next like 20, 50, maybe, but those jobs are going to be like highly sought after jobs. Like if you're able to do some shit like that, like become a plumber right now, because those jobs are going to be almost more important than any automated job that could seem like techie and stuff like that. Like it just seems like AI is getting way too good.
100%. Yeah. Someone asked what our price predictions are. I don't even feel comfortable giving one.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah, we just got to see how it shakes out. How's like the media handling it? Have you watching like
CNN?
CNN?
They're dunking on them. Yeah, of course.
Fox News.
Any chance they take to like that one guy who spoke for 24 hours, literally just bitching and moaning about Trump for a whole day. But anytime the opposite, the mainstream media has any opportunity they have to dunk on Trump, and any sign of like they're going to do it. I bet right now all over CNN it's all like bad Trump, that bad this, he's ruining the economy, blah blah blah. And we'll have to see.
Here's an interesting take by the Chris Pavlowski, the founder of Rumble. He says the tariffs will go down in history as one of the smartest moves in American global trade history. Bookmark this and come back in a year.
Yeah.
So that's his thoughts on that. And then Dave Porter says, I have a dumb Bitcoin / crypto question. If the point of Bitcoin is to be independent of the US dollar and non-regulated, why does it basically trade exactly like the US stock market nowadays? Market up, Bitcoin up, market down, Bitcoin down. And then Moose says, I have a dumb question. What happened to all the crypto coins you created and said you rallied for? Moose just shitting on Dave Portnoy.
Oh yeah. I had some big brain posts from Josh. Shout out to Josh for over at Hit Network. He actually made a good point. He said the fake news media and far left radicals are already screaming quote Trump session. But here's the truth. The plan is working. U.S. treasuries are collapsing, exactly as Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and President Trump warned. The markets are finally waking up. There's now 8% probability that the Fed cuts rate in June and ends quantitative tightening, right? If there's threat of a recession, right? Bottom line, this is fear-mongering dip orchestrated by radical media outlets and the Wall Street economists who've been wrong time and time again. Use it to your advantage, DCA into the chaos. Tariffs are set. Uncertainty is off the table. The negotiation phase begins now. All we need is patience and clarity. What's next? Fed chair speaks tomorrow. CPI data drops April 10th. It's going to be a volatile week, but we're close to the bottom. Stay focused, stay disciplined, and stay ahead. It's hard. It's hard.
Good tweet, smart tweet. And I think that's what Donald Trump really wants. Like he can't force Jerome Powell to cut rates, but essentially you can, right? Doing shit like this that causes the economy to crash. Like that's how you get rates cut.
Yeah, exactly. So, and a lot of people say, hey, man, it's a way for the rich to get richer. And the way we always talk about it is like, maybe it is a good time to DCA and stuff, but it's just so volatile right now. You want to catch the bottom, but it's hard to catch the bottom.
Yeah. So wild times. I mean, when we were having a stream on January 20th, when Donald Trump got inaugurated, $108,000 Bitcoin, everything was pumping. Did we expect this 3 months later?
It was in the back of my head a little bit, because I was like, it all depended on were the tariffs a negotiating tactic or were they really just a way to, make America less reliant on other people and bring back jobs here. And the truth is the path we were going down is a bad path anyways. Getting into this massive amount of debt, just becoming like, globalism is out of control, NATO expanding on the crash course for a collision course for World War III. I think the way we were going is definitely not. Inner cities being destroyed. The way we're going wasn't the right way. So we have to do something, dramatic and stuff like that. And it seems like this is like the dramatic step.
Imagine being Trump right now. Everyone in the world.
You got to not give a fuck.
You got to not give a fuck. And you got to believe in what you're doing. And you got to be a strong negotiator and hold the line. But I have a question. Do you think that we'll see other countries start to lower their tariffs after Trump announced his tariffs on countries on Liberation Day?
I think some of them will bend. But I think the point is to cut taxes for Americans, and the way we do that is to tax other people, invest in the United States, which I don't know, you can do with that what you will, and then us become more prosperous here, bringing back more jobs and making everything American again. You know,
I like it. I like that idea.
It's good for
you
us.
know, like we buy most of our goods from China and overseas. It's like
We don't want to rely on those people. Yeah.
especially we saw what happened during the.
We need to fix our infrastructure too. I was watching a lot of World War III versus China stuff, and like apparently, like if you blow a bomb up over, I think it's Oklahoma, like it takes out the whole power grid or some shit like that. Like one nuke in Oklahoma takes out our whole power grid.
Our power grid's pretty fragile.
That's I heard about that. Yeah.
To say the least. And I think a lot of our like plants, like the power plants and whatnot, like the boxes, electricity boxes, come from China.
Really? What? Really? I don't know about that.
A lot. Yeah.
Really?
A lot of those.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think about China. That obviously China's been around a lot longer than a lot of people think. Understand China's been thugging it out forever. They've had their own fucking civil war and stuff like that, and but I think the way they play the game is in the long game. And I know a lot of people want to think the world is happy, fun times, sunshine, rainbows. But if you don't think that these other world superpowers they want to dominate and take us out, you're out of your mind. They want to be better and bigger, and China's the number one competitor.
Yeah, we'll see. It's almost just a wild time. It's like a pivotal point in American history, right? Liberation Day happened. All these tariffs were announced. Will it make America stronger than ever before, or will it make it worse and hated than ever before? That's the question.
Yeah, I mean, who cares if they hate us? Like I think a lot of people hated us anyways. But yeah.
Sell in April and pop a pill. Sell in April. Fuck. Selling at these levels is not the plan. It was not in the bookmarks. It was not in the strategy, right?
Yeah.
At first, our plan was a 4-year cycle, right? Then Donald Trump won. We saw the first pump, and now we're seeing everything crash. But let's ask the chat. How's the chat feeling today, guys? Give us your thoughts. We'll go through some of the comments. Make sure to comment whether you're on YouTube or X. Just give us your honest opinion on how you feel about tariffs. Type it up if it can take a minute or two, and we'll pull up your comments here. I'm curious to see like what the overall consensus is because we have mostly bulls in this chat.
Yeah, everybody's bullish. Yeah,
there's not many bearish people that show up here, but obviously a pretty big day yesterday that happened with Liberation Day. So let's see what everybody has to say. Negative. Most electrical supplies are manufactured by Eaton in the U.S. We'll go after Joe Rogan. He said it. Let's see how people are feeling. China for electronics, Mexico for produce, and Canada for energy. Yeah, we rely on them for pretty much everything.
Yeah.
And even like a lot of our pills and medicine aren't really made here in America as well.
Yeah, we do rely on a lot of people, like that. But, I mean, they rely on us too. It's kind of a give and take. But if they're taking more than they give, then I get it. And we just want to bring back jobs to America.
Absolutely. Our Caffeine says he's bullish on tariffs. It's all strategy. It will work out. Tariffs are necessary for long-term plan. Zoom out says Nico on ETH. So a lot of people are, thinking that it's good. It already worked on Canada and Mexico. May look bleak at the moment, but still have hope for a Q4 rally. Buy the dips, all of them, says Incognito. Are you buying any dips today or are you waiting?
I'm always buying a little bit of Bitcoin every day. You know that?
Yeah.
I buy a little bit of Bitcoin every day. $100, $20, $1,000, depending on what I got.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Yeah. I mean, for me personally, it's like I think we will finally load up on Pepe. Let's take a look at the meme coin space. I'm guessing it's getting absolutely wrecked.
Yeah. I wonder how the meme coin.
Dogecoin, 23 billion. Shiba Inu, 7 billion. Pepe down all the way to $2.7 billion market cap. Trump was trading over a $2 billion market cap yesterday, now at $1.7 billion. Bonk at 829. It's fallen out of the $1 billion market cap.
Where's Whiff at?
Whiff is at 355 million.
Ooh, what's Punky at?
Fartcoin 369 million. SBX 390 million. Floki 515.
Yeesh.
Melania down to 300 million.
Yeah.
Bread on Base has fallen below a $300 million market cap. SNEC 216. MOG 138 million.
Wow.
GigaChat 130 million. And you mentioned Punky, right?
Yeah, Punky's way down there. Go down. It's probably like no way it's all the way down there. No way, bro. No way. Stop. Punky 43 million. Wow.
That's crazy. This token was at a $400+ million market cap. But most are. I mean, most tokens are down.
They're moving.
Yeah. So, terrible day to be a meme coin trader, huh?
Yeah. It
buy
is.
the dips.
Or buy your favorite ones.
It's hard to buy the dip.
I thought this was interesting. So check this out. So this is a space by Cointelegraph. I'm not going to play the space or anything, but it says, check this out. So CEO of whatever says they break down the future NFTs, digital assets, and the path to mass adoption. Where is the industry headed? Right? Tap in to find out. So NFTs aren't dead; they're evolving. And I thought that's interesting because if you think of like RWAs and just like I think like NFTs were meant for more than just JPEGs and pictures. You know what I mean? And I think that just because right now NFTs aren't hot in one way, I think they're going to make a comeback. And that may be the bull case for Ethereum, like everyone tokenizing their assets. You know what I mean? Like
I think so, but also just look at the viewership on this particular podcast. Cointelegraph has millions of followers. They got less than 600 people.
Roasting for that? The point is, I just want to talk about the topic.
Just because it shows you that like not many people saw that and were like,
no one gives a shit about that.
An NFT comment, they're like, oh, an NFT space. They're like, no.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, just the viewership, you know.
Gotta flame them up one time, but like nobody cares about like this kind of shit. It's all price stuff, but I thought it was pretty interesting. You know, NFTs like documents and shit. Imagine if you had like an ID on the blockchain. Like you can't be fake manipulated.
Yeah,
Deeds,
IDs,
titles.
Tickets to sporting
Tickets
events.
Would be huge. I've been scammed so many times using third-party ticket sellers.
Yeah, houses, all that will be on the blockchain.
Yeah.
Cameron Jordan says, anything seem promising under 100 million? For me, not really. I mean, there are tokens out there, but you know, it's hard to say right now. There's some good tokens, but it's just like everything's getting wrecked. We got to just see how this kind of shakes up with the cryptocurrency space and the tariff news.
Yeah, and check this out. North Korea is back on their bullshit again. So North Korean IT specialists posing as freelancers are infiltrating European blockchain companies, raising concerns over espionage, data leaks, and cyber attacks. Dude, North Korea has it down when it comes to fucking hacking, bro.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a big concern for me, too, because, like, what do we do with that? Like, when crypto becomes bigger, like, what happens if the U.S. government has, like, their Bitcoin hacked somehow? Like, that'd be catastrophic.
They have to be able to have it. They just got to have it in like the best security, you know?
Yeah.
They have to have the best security. And honestly, but stealing that much money from the U.S. would be, in my opinion, like a death sentence. You know, if you came into a U.S. bank, a North Korean man, and stole,
what are these going to do? Drop a bomb on North Korea? No.
You get it back somehow, you know? You threaten to get it back. So
we've sanctioned the fuck out of them so much already. Like, what else can we do?
This is a funny tweet. Legion ETH, I lost $208,000 since Trump became the president. I should have voted for Kamala. I think I don't think we'd be much better. Honestly, I was talking to a friend about this yesterday. Yeah. I still take Trump's presidency over 4 more years of Kamala and Tim Walz.
I bet you it's not this guy's portfolio. I bet you that he just reposted that and just for engagement.
For sure. 2 trillion has been wiped out from the stock market today. Is that true? 2 trillion?
Yeah, it's been the last thing I checked. It was at 8 a.m. Yeah, $2
trillion has been pulled out. So a lot of it is fear right now, right? Like just put yourself in the average 55-year-old American's life. Like he didn't vote for Trump. He wanted Kamala. He sees these terrorist things. He's watching CNN in the news, thinking that's going to get way worse. So they're most likely pulling out all of their stocks, right?
Yeah.
Which is the opposite of what you should technically be doing, right? This is when you want to put money in, not right now, but soon, most likely into the markets. Like when there's a massive amount of fear, that's when you want to put money in. Well, how's the fear and green index today?
It's probably super fear. But I think a good point is like the path we were headed on wasn't a good path either. Like we know that was not good. Dire times call for dire phases. Yeah, not extreme fear. Wow, close.
Yep. Once the banks implement their establishment systems of protections, it will become more difficult to hack crypto. Trust me, I know this. Why won't Trump launch himself out of Okay.
Can he? Okay, everybody's pissed.
Well, I think he did say that. I think so. Ronaldo, correct me if I'm wrong, Ronaldo, but there was a tweet that Trump put out and said, if a sitting president ever has the stock market drop by $2 trillion in a single day, he should launch himself out of a cannon.
Did he say that?
Yeah, I got to pull it up.
No way, dude. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Trump, I mean, you got to talk shit when you're on the campaign trail. You know what I mean?
Launching out of a cannon.
You got to talk shit when you're on the campaign trail. Oh, boy.
Oh, it was a false claim, says Reuters.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, the internet can get you. Sounds like a Trump tweet, though.
I would say that, yeah. I mean, 2 months from now, we could be looking back and like, damn, that's good. Great point. Yeah, good job, Trump, That's the bull case, at least.
I don't know. I'm still hopeful. I mean, long-term, right?
Course, yeah.
Long-term, like we're long-term investors. We're young.
We are.
Now, if I was 62, about to retire, I was able to pull. Yeah. So it could be like if you turn 65 this year and you're now able to pull your funds from your IRA and 401k.
You better wait. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely difficult, but I think most of us agree long-term, crypto will go up, stocks will go up. This is some short-term pain.
Yeah.
And Rodney, we've been through much, much, much worse. Again, let's see what Jeff says. Jeff says, really nervous. Got in the game just at the start of the new year, about 40K and down 30%. Ready for this shit to blast off. Sounds like you bought good tokens because if you're only down 30%, it's not too bad. Sounds like you bought Bitcoin only. Because I know most meme coin traders that got in, Rodney, they're down 90% on most tokens.
Yeah. I mean, that's when everybody gets in. They always get in at the top. You know what I mean? Because that's like peak FOMO is. And when you get at the top, most people, you're going to be holding for a long time. Like I feel bad for the people that got into the top at Ethereum in 2021 or like Shiba Inu or Dogecoin in 2021. Like that's absolutely insane.
So since January, meme coins have been getting slaughtered. Some are down 70, 80, 90%. Yeah. Tell me honestly, are meme coins dead or will they make a recovery in 2025?
The reason why we like meme coins is because they're volatile. And look, you can't have the good without the bad. When the markets are green, they outpace Bitcoin like crazy. But when the markets are red, they outpace everything else like crazy. I don't think meme coins are dead. I think that we kind of entered into a spot where celebrity tokens kind of made meme coins look bad, but those are not meme coins. Those are celebrity shit coins.
Yep.
Different. I think meme coins are going to be fine, but if you're betting on meme coins right now, you got to stick to the top ones because they're tried and true. They're safe. They haven't really lost their position. I'm talking about Doge, Shib, Pepe, Bonk, those sorts of things. So I don't think meme coins are dead.
And just look at meme coins, right? Look at your top meme coins, Doge, Shib, and Pepe, the ones you mentioned. They've all had massive run-ups, have dropped 80%, and have all recovered. So they're not dead yet. We're just in this waiting period. In my opinion, better time to buy the dip.
Absolutely. Yeah. Most meme coins have a 60 to 8% retracement, you know?
It is normal. But here's a tweet too. This kind of goes off meme coins. I said, make the meme coin space great again. I miss the good old days when we all rallied behind and supported a handful of projects, dozens of projects in the billions of dollars of market cap. Celebs, countries, and presidents came in and sucked all the liquidity out of our once great space.
Yeah, Trump really fucked us with that one. Yeah.
Trump did. the launch itself was good, but then the Melania launch, everything. Sailor's drooling at this dip right now. He's pulling out his mother's senior living expenses to gather more funding. He's got to be buying the dip, right?
Who?
Sailor.
Yeah, probably,
right now.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, he usually buys it like in chunks too, like over a week span.
Yeah.
We'll probably see a message.
He's bought a lot over the last couple of weeks, right?
He's bought a lot.
Yeah.
He's been absolutely top blasting, which I don't really think I like. I mean, for me personally, it's like I have cash on hand that I'm waiting to buy the dip, but I'm waiting for it to go down. His strategy, he doesn't have a strategy. No. His strategy is buy as much Bitcoin as humanly possible.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a strategy. Now, I want to get this clip real quick from Trump because it makes a good point. Let me go ahead and play it right here if you want to pull me up.
And now we're going to pass the largest tax cuts in American history. And that's where we're relying on Mike and John Thune. And we will not cut Social Security, Medicare, or Medicaid benefit.
So I thought it was interesting because I think that a big reason for these tariffs, and I'll go back to a post that I did see about the tariff situation, because it is true. Like if you ever everybody just look at you like your paycheck, right? If you're a W-2 employee, how fucking crazy is it, right? Absolutely insane. Now check this out. I do want to pull this up here. I thought this was interesting from the same guy who was kind of knocking Trump earlier about the reciprocal tariffs not being accurate. So as Trump was speaking, I dug out my 1902 U.S. Atlas, and it's genuinely remarkable how much federal revenue was just tariffs at the time, right? And so they got their revenue from the actual tariffs and less from taxing American people. But I mean,
that's something we should all be in favor of, right? And of course, other countries in the EU are pissed about that, but as Americans, we should be in favor of it. So are we going to get tax cuts?
Yeah, I think generally, yeah. Especially for the average.
He said zero. Remember, he ran on like 0% income tax.
You can't do something crazy like that.
But even 10%. I mean, because didn't our country start didn't we separate from England because
they were for like 2% tax, I think.
Yeah,
or some shit like that, 2%. Right? We've gone to war for less, you know.
But now just all of us are like on our phones, just like, oh yeah, I'll pay 35% to the U.S. and I'll pay 13% to Gavin Newsom in California. No problem.
It's fine. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, am I wrong to think that all you can do is just be hopeful? Like, just
be hopeful.
That's all you can do, right? Unless you want to run for office and make a change. Yeah. You bitching on Twitter is not going to do anything. Yeah, it's not going to make your bags go up.
No, but it's okay to share your opinion. You know,
I agree. Yeah, I think that everyone should share their opinion, and Twitter is the best place to do it. But at the end of the day, at this point, all we can do is be hopeful and hope it recovers. This is actually a Donald Trump tweet on True Social. He just tweeted this out. He said, "The operation is over. The patient lived and is healing. The prognosis is that the patient will be far stronger, bigger, better, and more resilient than ever before. Make America great again." So that's 8:33 a.m. Donald Trump tweeted that after, I guess, we survived Liberation Day. Yeah. What's your thoughts on that? The president still blow posting his tariffs.
We watched his speech yesterday. I was at the gym listening to it, and literally, like, you know, it's he can get you right. He can get you fired up. You know what I mean? He can get you fired up. So I'm not surprised.
Just depends on if it's accurate or not. Quick look back at the Dow Jones. I want to see what's going on here. 40,794, 40,914. I can't believe over $2 trillion was wiped from the stock market in a single day. And then the Russell 2000 is recovering a little bit as well. So that 1950 point was where we didn't want to drop under, and we're back up to 1922. So maybe the bottom's in, Rodney. Maybe the pain is over. Maybe the worst of it is behind us. Like Donald Trump said, President Trump said, "Where is Kalina? Where were you?" Says, "I'm late. Good morning. Good morning."
Yeah.
I think that, like Donald Trump said, the worst of it is over. The patient lived, and now the healing process begins. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, who knows, right? Because I'm looking at a bunch of stuff right now, like showing that we got some fun, like cool cheese made for you guys. Some like more Tesla shit, which is great.
They're not still doing Teslas, are they?
Oh yeah,
Still?
she's keying it and they're flipping it off. Yeah, you want to share?
Yeah, play it.
Here, let me. Yeah.
Are they still going after Teslas, American-made vehicles?
If you're Elon Musk, Elon Musk did talk about stepping away from. I got 2 videos to show you guys. This one has no sound,
Bro, if I'm Elon, I'm literally just selling all my stock and leaving everything. Like
this is a mom and her
dude,
kid.
Elon does not have to deal with any of this
This
shit.
is crazy, bro.
All right, so a mom and her kid.
Yeah,
It looks like it's in.
she's keying it.
That's a
And this guy's
Cybertruck
flipping off the
too.
camera.
A little kid. When are people going to learn that Teslas have cameras everywhere?
You want to see some justice? Check out this. Check out this next one.
What would you do if you were in the car and someone did that?
I'll beat the shit out of somebody. I'll slap the shit out of a chick too. But like, get the fuck off my car. I wouldn't slap a chick out of a chick, but you know what I mean. I mean, come on. You know, it's fucking it's
your property.
retarded,
Yeah.
childish. You know.
Your
But I did
property.
turn my Sentry mode back on my Tesla.
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
Remember that guy that I saw? I took your car out and Tampa to charge it, and he showed me his dick.
You told me that he came into the window. I have a gun under
I
my.
know. Yeah, he came up because like I was like waiting for their Tesla thing, and I guess you're supposed to wait on the other side. He pulls up, he's honking, gets out of his car. He parks his. I move up. He parks his car, gets out, has a whippet. You know, whippets, the nitrous oxide.
Yeah.
Has that in his hand. He goes, he hits it, and he's like, "You fucking Trump faggot! Trump made America worse."
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. Pulls down his pants, whips out his dick, and gets back in his car. I was,
Typical liberal.
I was
Typical.
like, "What the fuck just
Typical.
happened?"
Yeah.
And some kid that was charging his Tesla comes up and he's like, "Do you know that guy?" I'm like, "No, bro." I was like, "That was strange." I told Rodney, and he's like, "Yeah, you know, I got a gun under my seat." I was
Yeah.
like,
You know, yeah. I mean, if
probably loaded.
you don't want to
Usually.
shoot him, but if you pull out a weapon, you
If
can
he
shoot
pulls
him.
out a weapon, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, he was
welcome.
high on his, and he drives. Like it's kind of sketchy. Like that's why cars are not safe. He literally got back in his car and drove away after hitting a whippet, which fucks you up.
Crazy story. So in San Diego, I lived in a small apartment building. It was only 8 units, and you've been to my apartment. It's how it's kind of closed off
Sick ass spot.
inside.
Yeah.
And a guy moved in, a tattoo artist, and I would see him. I had a Ring doorbell, and I'd see him come home, and he'd have a ton of canisters of duster. And while I was gone for military training at the time, my ex was home and he was losing. He ran outside naked with a gun and was waving it around. He got arrested and taken out
With a gun?
He had a gun naked. Like that shit will fucking destroy your brain. But like people doing those sorts of things, like it's like galaxy gas. Like that shit destroys your brain like crazy.
Yeah.
But this is an interesting video. So check this out. This is justice right here. So just read it.
Justice.
Yeah, this is great. Fuck this motherfucker.
I might buy
My
a Tesla.
Cybertruck was attacked by an Elon Musk hater in broad daylight.
First of all, the guy just witnessed the guy do that. He's catching hands. I mean, it's a big guy, but he's catching hands immediately. You know what I mean? Let's continue.
What was that? You guys are pieces of shit, dude. That's my fucking car. That's your car? Yeah. What the hell is your friend's problem? You guys are fucking idiots.
So get this. These guys park right behind my truck, attack it, and leave. But that's so dumb because everyone knows the Tesla records everything. And not to mention, I was literally standing 15 feet away from my truck. Who would do this? What a dumbo. So I immediately assessed the damage, called 911, and secretly followed them to the place they were going.
White dude, pink hair. 40?
So it took about 10 minutes for the cops to arrive. They questioned me, so I showed them the videos,
It's got to be an Elon Musk violation or something. It is, yeah.
and they asked, "Do you know where he went?" I said, "Yes. He and his friends went to the movie theater."
Got 50 out here. The boys went into the movie theater, so we're going to see what happens.
Turns out they were watching Death of a Unicorn, so the cops went in, paused the entire movie,
Got his
and
ass.
told the guy, "You need
Pause the
us."
movie.
Not so funny now, is it, big man?
Good.
The
I like to
police
see that,
asked if
man.
I want to press
We need more of
charges,
that.
and I
Like,
said, "Absolutely.
I don't-
This is going to be
Just
a
because
few
it's a Tesla doesn't mean you
$1,000
can fucking vandalize a car.
No, guys, my
Keying
fucking
cars.
car.
Yeah.
What about me? You know, help me.
And there's been those people that the guys that like lit the Tesla charging station on fire, they got 20 years in
Oh
prison.
yeah, well, it's terrorism.
How much do they regret that now? They thought they were being
lot.
cool. We're gonna
Yeah.
get caught. Dude, 20 years in prison.
I blame the media, dude. The media really controls people like crazy. The media is stirring this shit up. They're like Jimmy Kimmel, is like saying, if you see Tesla, don't vandalize it. Like vandalize it. You know, like that kind of shit is so toxic and poison. You know, for people, because some people are just like,
And they listen, bro.
they're literally just NPCs. They like,
Yeah.
oh, media says this. I gotta fucking let's damage some Tesla.
They say Elon Musk is a Nazi. Like, let's, I bet that guy. But realistically, if you're Elon Musk, you have hundreds of billions of dollars. You already have successful companies. You don't need to do any of the shit you're doing.
He's proud to be an American.
Yeah.
I know. I mean,
I respect it, right?
yeah.
Wouldn't you be like Jeff Bezos style, just on a yacht with your sexy Latina wife? cashing in billions, working out every day. You don't need to be doing this shit.
Yeah.
I respect it.
No, absolutely. No, I respect it too. The media's fucked up. They just go for what's like a big deal. They just go for what gets clicks. Now, I did see the story. It's
What's up, Empress?
What's up, Empress? What's up, Empress? How you
Empress in
doing?
the chat.
What's up, baby?
Empress, how you feeling about tariffs? Let us know in the comments.
First of all, Empress meme game has been on out of control lately.
Empress grinding.
I thought it was interesting. Like the media, for example, like this is if the roles were reversed, this would be a top story in the media. So check this out. So Austin Metcalf, identical twins. Oh my bad. Let me share my screen. Sorry about that. Sorry, coach. If this was the media, or if this was the roles reversed, this would be talked about everywhere. So heartbreaking. Austin Metcalf's identical twin speaks out after witnessing his brother get stabbed in the chest. Austin passed away in Hunter's arms, all because Hunter told a thug that he was in the wrong spot. Send prayers for. So I bet there was more that happened in the conversation. So here's what happened. These guys were at a track meet, about 100 people there at a track meet, right? These identical twins, right? There's different tents for different athletes. This guy was in a tent with these guys, and he was like, hey, you cannot be in this tent. Now, I don't know what words were had, but this guy ended up stabbing this guy
The fuck?
one time, and he died
That's
and
just
bled
like
out.
that's just like too much. Like just to stab for that. Like if I was in the
Fucking
wrong tent and
nuts.
someone's like, "Hey, you can't be in this tent," be like, "Oh my bad."
But this is not a mainstream media. The point is, like, if the roles were reversed, this would be everywhere.
Oh yeah,
Everywhere.
Are they really not covering this at all?
Not on like CNN and shit.
We should start a media company called the Truth News Network.
You know what I do? And I watch the media every day, and it hurts me.
We would
sometimes.
have a great dude. We
would kill it,
We
yeah.
could have a warehouse, have like multiple shows.
Yeah, I'm down. I like.
We
Yeah,
could start a media company.
yeah, it's just
But
news.
I think that media is always going to be biased. I really do. I don't think there's like because like our news,
It's outrage culture.
our
yeah.
news is biased
Of
to
course.
what we like what we think is true. But someone else that's from the other side or doesn't view our views, they might think it's like they see the world from a different perspective. I don't know if there's any way to have unbiased news.
No, it's outrage culture.
Who does the best?
What's like clickbait?
Who
It's
does
like
the best? What company?
What do you
CNN, obviously not. Like who
Breaking
does the
Points is pretty good.
Breaking Points? But it's
Breaking
not like mainstream media. Who in the
It's-
mainstream? Does ABC,
CNN, shit like that?
CNN, Fox News?
They all have their biases, and people won't even. The thing is, like, I'm not a Fox News guy. I like it, but I watch CNN too sometimes just to hear shit because I think it's important to get news from both sides. But there is a YouTube channel. I'll pull it up here.
Channel 7, Channel 5. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, I don't know. I'll show you right now. The fuck is that?
The water guy.
Oh, sorry, George. Got it. But check this out. This is a news channel called Breaking Points. I like them. So they have two people mainly. One's named Sagar, and the other one is Crystal. And Crystal's kind of like a raging liberal, and then she kind of hates Republicans and Trump. But then Sagar's like pretty like pro. He leans to the right and those sorts of things. So I think that if you're into like, in my opinion, I think it's some of the best media source.
But how big are they? How many views?
They
How
have
do we get this on mainstream?
1.42 million subscribers. The thing is, like,
Good.
TV's dying. Like the old guard that's watching TV, they're going to be dead in like 20 years.
Yeah.
You
So
know
it
what
is,
I mean?
it is moving to this way.
Yeah. So I think that mainstream media online is probably your best bet. And I think Breaking Points is the best.
Okay. And what is it?
she's
So he's
raging liberal.
Republican, she's liberal?
It seems like that. Like she dates the guy from a channel called Secular Talk, which is hugely liberal, like hates Republicans, like everything's bad. But he's like, I think he leans more right and stuff like that. So they argue a lot. It's like it gets spicy on the show, and I like it because you hear both sides. And sometimes I agree with her, sometimes I agree with him. Most of the time I agree with him. Less times I agree with her.
Oh, Channel 5 is on YouTube. It's hilarious, but they do real stories. I don't know. I don't really watch the mainstream media. I get most of my news. This sounds pretty bad, but like from podcasts,
It just
Joe Rogan,
Joe Rogan's
Andrew Schultz,
can be good. Joe Rogan's more entertainment though, because it's not all news. It's just
No.
like
just fun stuff, But I definitely agree with I think a lot of what he says, and I think a lot of people do.
yeah.
How do we feel about this?
What is it?
Weird how we all miss this.
Yeah,
man.
crypto. There's
now.
engagement farming. He doesn't even run his own account. I guarantee you.
Do we miss him? I don't miss him. He wasn't even there. I will say though, I really do believe that whatever we're going through right now is short-term pain. Because I see the future. I think that
Yeah.
things are going to get better for crypto and stocks and the economy.
Yeah.
And I think what we're going through is short-term pain. But I will take all of the policies that we've had in place, like freeing Ross Ulbricht, no men and women's sports, and all the different things that he's done on his first day,
Yeah.
right? A strategic reserve for crypto. I'll take that over
All
where
day.
this country was heading.
all day.
Even the stuff with the military, like there's no like trans in the military
Yeah,
now. Is
fucking
there?
retarded. No, and then Pete Hegseth said he was going to raise the standards. And let me tell you something. I've been through military training twice, specifically infantry for the National Guard, which is the Army. Everybody trains in the same place. it is so incredibly bad. So bad that I think that, man, if this was back in the day where we're fighting with swords and shields, which we're not, we would get absolutely mollywopped by any fit. It's just because
China's army looks good.
they just their marching's good.
No, there was like a you probably know what it is. It's like kind of a competition between like China's Navy SEALs and our Navy SEALs or whatever it was. I can probably find the clip and I'll show you. But China, like you have to go through an obstacle course, climb the wall, break in, shoot certain things, snipe. They beat us by twice our time.
Really?
Like we did double time. Yeah, I'll find the clip.
That, yeah, could be just propaganda, but
nah, it was a competition. China versus USA drills. Let's see if I can find it. As we know, the X search engine is fucking ass.
Yeah.
Why is the X search engine so bad?
Yeah, I'll Google it too.
I think YouTube, if I put that in, China versus USA military power 2025? No. We got to find this. China versus USA military.
They definitely outnumber us by a lot.
Yeah. All right. No search engines. God, there should be a way to find it. Well, I guess drills is not the word. Military competition. That's not the word either. I'm getting all just like power comparison. All right, we'll play the clip.
There's a YouTube video that talks about it.
China versus USA. What would it be called? A competition, drills?
I just put China versus U.S. Navy SEALs.
USA.
There's a bunch of different articles about it.
Compete. We're going to find this for the chat.
Yeah.
Nope.
There's some Quoras.
All right. China versus USA Navy SEALs competition.
Chairman Jake on the stream.
China wins.
Yeah. Does anyone think Trump would win a world leader melee? I don't think. I think there's other guys who are just younger than him.
We're not going to find it, guys. Sorry. I'll find that clip. I wish I had a better search engine. Damn. Now we got Jake shilling for China. Chairman Jake on stream. I mean, they did beat us. I got to ask.
I haven't heard about that.
Going to be drones and robots soon. Yeah. Are we even going to have a military soon?
It's
like
all
the way that Israel and like Ukraine and Russia.
Yeah.
Like Israel I mean, I don't blame it. It's actually smart. Like, why would you risk a human life to go in when you can just send it? And they have guns and bombs and it's kind of messed up.
Just keep in mind, guys, before the Ukraine-Russia situation, it was like Russia's this great, powerful nation. They got absolutely fraud checked. So, so just keep in mind that, people say all these things about China, but like we've been in wars. They have not. They have been in zero wars. We've been in like
really
hella wars.
Are they pretty peaceful over there?
Well, who are they going to attack?
Taiwan. They've always been after Taiwan.
They want Taiwan. Yeah. I think they're going to go after it. I don't know when, but and I also think that, having the United States military stretched out. The pro and the con having military everywhere around the world is that you can strike from anywhere. The con is that you can get your military stretched out too thin sometimes.
Like the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
That's why they failed. They were taking over everything. But how do we know how many military members we have in the United States right now?
It's like 300,000. You can check. It's like 300. It's not a lot.
Military
numerical advantage. I think China murks us for sure. Obviously,
the U.S. military, is that all the branches?
Did I say 300,000? I'm retarded. My bad.
2.86 million.
Yeah, I'm retarded. Yeah,
not that much.
No, about 3 million. My bad.
Not even 1% of our population.
Well, yeah, no. But technology is huge, and Navy and military and Air Force and Navy is huge.
We have the best shit.
And no one's gonna invade the U.S. without hell to pay.
So we have 1.3 million active duty troops, 767,000 reserves, National Guard reserves, civilian workers. The Department of Defense employs 778,000 people.
Probably, yeah.
Is that with that's not active, right?
Oh, that's like employees, like lunch ladies and people to do shit like paperwork and shit.
Coast Guard, 38,000 members. So total service members, 2 million.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
It is lower, 58,000 lower than 2021.
So recently it has gone up though. It's going up because people are more patriotic,
I would have, honestly, I think there's nothing more badass in this world than being a Navy SEAL. Those guys are fucking hard.
Or Delta Force or like
Green Beret.
Rangers.
Any of them.
Yeah.
Any of them. But dude, it's like the missions that they do, right? Like I was watching that movie. What's that movie with the captain, Tom Hanks, on the boat? Have you not seen this?
Captain Phillips?
Yes. Have you seen it?
I haven't, but I seen like you, the captain now. I heard it's sick though.
Yeah. Dude, Captain Phillips, I watched that movie. So good. But like the guy was stranded on a boat for 7 days in a little like floaty device.
Yeah.
Like they like sent it off from the cruise ship. They were floating for 7 days, no food, no water. and they call in the Navy SEALs on a day notice. They stop what they're doing somewhere at like birthday parties, fly in within 24 hours, and they take, like on a moving vessel, towing it into you. They take 3 shots at the same time and kill the 3 terrorists. What are they called?
I'm pretty sure it was kind of hyped up for
What
Hollywood.
are the water people called?
The Somali pirates.
Somali pirates.
Yeah.
The water people. And but it was just like so badass, like because they were pitching that to the president. They said, hey, I think it was Obama's term. They said, hey, we have a Navy SEAL group that any problem in the world, you give us 24 hours and we'll be there. So you always got to be on call. You know, they were at a birthday party.
Oh, yeah.
They left, packed their shit, drove, took a flight, took a boat to the boat, and boom, within like 30 minutes, they shoot them dead.
Got that ass. Yeah. It's crazy. Special operations is nuts. There was one where some female journalist got she got kidnapped, and Navy SEALs or I think it was Green Berets maybe, came at nighttime and just wiped out everybody and rescued her. Like, it's crazy.
It's wild. Yeah. My friend that I met in Bahamas, maybe I shouldn't say that, but anyways, I met someone that was like Navy SEALs of the IDF. Yeah. And he was telling me some stories about what they did in Lebanon and Gaza, and I'm like, holy shit.
Nice.
You're a fuck. I could see it in his eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. Fuck.
Like, you did that, and now we're drinking tequila. Cheers.
Yeah.
But yeah. Wow. It's based. I respect all of our military, and honestly, if I wasn't 29, I would have loved to go to the military, but it's just not like
it's not your thing. You're definitely physically fit than 99% of the people, but it's not your thing. You know?
I would have loved it. Yeah. I would have loved it. I think it's a great honor, you know. But you put yourself at risk. But if I would have done, I would have went like the college route, you know. Like one of my friends, he was the quarterback at Navy.
Yeah, he'd be officer. Yeah,
our high school quarterback, nasty kid, which is a good thing if people don't know. Nasty quarterback, and he actually ended up playing at Navy, and I think he's serving now. Right? You do like 4 years in Navy, you get your education, but there's a lot of benefits to being in the military. A lot. Yeah,
a lot. Especially, and if you're a rich person, don't do it. But if you're a person that's like kind of middle class, that's what you see. I'm not knocking anybody, but you know, it's a good way to get ahead with student loans and VA loans.
Do they pay for student loans? You get military
up to a certain amount. You got to make sure that it's just so the process is so fucked up, especially in the National Guard. Like, paperwork's always jacked up. It seems like no one gives a shit. It's really poorly run. But I think active military is where it's at, and those guys are locked in and squared away and stuff.
We have some breaking news from Mark Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada. He says the era of integration with the U.S. economy is over. Bold statement. Yeah. Era of integration with the U.S. economy. What does that exactly mean? That everything goes to the U.S. economy?
Well, that our economies are intertwined. It's over.
Fuck. I don't really care what this guy says.
Yeah. You know? I mean, we'll see. People are just big dicking.
Shit.
People are big dicking right now.
Canada is set to impose 25% tariffs on all U.S. vehicles that are not compliant with the USMCA trade deal.
I don't know what that is. Yeah,
I think that Trump said he got rid of the U.S.
Michael Saylor says there's no tariffs on Bitcoin. Thanks for your fucking thanks for chiming in, Michael.
He's
Saylor.
right though, right?
Yeah, I know.
What if Trump did put a tariff on Bitcoin?
Yeah, I know, but it's like it's fucking digital asset. You know,
there is a tax.
Of course, there is.
Saylor's still bullish. Apparently, let's see how the crypto markets are recovering today. Are we recovering? We're back to 82.
Hey, only up from here, baby. Bottom 81's the bottom now.
I think the Dow Jones is up a little bit as well from the bottom. We went all the way down to about 40.6. We're at 40.9. And the Russell 2000, when we started the stream, was at 1910. We're at 1923. So,
okay, let's talk about this real quick. Luigi Mangione.
What happened with him?
Attorney General Pam Bondi and Trump are pushing for the death penalty. Why?
To set a precedent. That crime is not legal.
Don't get the death penalty?
Yeah. I think it's
because they're killing a rich guy?
No, I agree. I honestly think it's because it's just such a high profile case that they're trying to set a precedent that like premeditated murders will get you the death penalty.
How about shooting up a school, writing a manifesto? We're not killing these motherfuckers. How about kids that fuck little kids?
I agree.
How about we kill those motherfuckers?
Yeah, that's worse.
That's crazy to me.
They're both bad, but that's worse. But I think that like from the beginning, remember everyone was like up in arms. They love this kid. Trump from the beginning is like, I don't know why anybody's celebrating this kid.
He's one of them.
So they're pushing for the death penalty. I mean,
that's crazy to me. That's crazy to me.
It's scary. You think he regrets doing what he did, Luigi?
You know what? I don't know, because I think when you read his like manifesto and his history, like young, hot, strapping lad with a lot going for him, just torn by back pain, probably couldn't even fuck. Back pain was so bad. And we know someone personally who's like, it's killing him. It's crippling, you know?
It is, yeah.
And
it is.
He makes a lot of good points about the American healthcare system. It's fucked up. It's fucked up.
I have it. I pay like $500 $500 a month.
Yeah,
to,
it can destroy people.
I pay $500 a month to like not use it, you know?
And then pay a huge deductible when you have to go.
Yeah.
Or if you have like a major injury, pay a huge part of it. They don't cover it all.
I just get blood work done once a year. I probably don't even need insurance. I could probably just get my levels tested.
You just pay it. It's less than $500, like $250, something like that.
And it's like $500 a month, you know?
Yeah.
And my
But if you
doctor's like,
break something, or
I know, yeah. If you
you
break
fall
something,
ill.
you fall, you get in a car accident. It's tricky. What, dude? That's what we should fix. If anything, we should use the tariffs to just fix our nation.
We just fix that. You know, I don't know. Get everybody out of student loan debt. You know?
Fix our nation. So, anything else to cover today?
No, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
All right, guys. So that's Liberation Day. We're on day one. Donald Trump said that we are healing. Let me pull up the Peter Schiff tweet. Let's just see what he's saying. Nike won't build factories in the U.S. to make sneakers. That would add more cost than the 40% tariffs. Plus, they need to stay competitive selling to customers in other countries that don't impose tariffs. The result will be fewer sneakers sold in the U.S. at much higher prices. It's not a Liberation Day one unless Peter Schiff is fudding our bags in our country. So we made it, guys. Donald Trump thinks that the operation is over.
We're live. We're still here.
The customer's healing. And we'll be back live tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, hopefully with some better news. Till then, guys,
Peace.
be good. We'll see you then.
Bye-bye now.
Peace.